It's no secret that I'm a bit of a Glock fanboy. You might call me a Glock snob because if you watch any of my content on Instagram, here on my YouTube channel, or even the TA Targets pages, you're gonna see me running a Glock 19 almost exclusively. But the reality is I'm not fully married to the brand or the Glock 19 model. I'm open-minded, and if presented with an opportunity to try a different platform, I always will, and I'll approach it with an open mind. So when Zev sent me this Z320 X Compact, I was very curious to see how this thing would compare to my Glock 19, and I wanted to know, would this pistol convert me away from a Glock and into a Sig Sauer style pistol? I've been shooting this pistol over the last 4 months, and I've done a lot of range time with it, so I think that I'm ready at this point to give you guys my opinion on the Zev Z320 X Compact. Let's dive into it. Guys, before I dive into the Z320, I just wanted to give you a little bit of information on how you can support me here at this channel. As most of you already know, I'm one of the owners of TA Targets. We manufacture steel target systems, but more than that, we are a media entity and we are doing our part to affect culture and change in culture. So if you want to support me here, one of the best ways that you can do that and you can support our entire team is to hop over to tatargets.com and check out our steel target systems. If you use code Keystone Carry at checkout, it's going to save you some money on most of our steel targets. We also have things like shot timers, other range accessories, and even optics, night vision, thermal, and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on over on the TA Targets website. And even if you are not in the position to support us in that way, go ahead and swing over to the TA Targets YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and check out all of the awesome content we are putting in over on that channel over there. Let's dive into this. So Zev offered to send me this Z320, and I was super excited to get into it because it's a little bit different than what I'm typically using on the range. And as I stated in the intro of the video, I am almost exclusively carrying this Gen 4 Glock 19, and it's changed very little over the years. And the reason I do this is because it just works. When I picked up a Glock for the first time and I moved away from my M&Ps, it just felt like the Glock was the better pistol for me. But with that being said, I'm always open-minded to trying out new things, and the Z320 to me was a totally new pistol platform that I had very little experience with. So before I dive too far into what I think about this pistol, just giving you a little bit of a brief overview of it. This is a Sig P320 X Compact that Zev creates this awesome slide for on the top, and you'll notice that there's a couple features that are going to be on this particular slide that you're not going to find on a P320 right out of the box. One of them is going to be all of the forward serrations as well as the porting on the slide. You will notice that on the barrel it is dimpled and it just looks really nice. As far as function, does that help you? That is for you to decide. Other than that, it is already machined for a red dot, which I really enjoy. The fact that you can just slap a dot on this with an RMR footprint is really nice. Zev also throws in their steel front fiber optic sight and their rear sight, but from the bottom down, to my knowledge, it is just a stock P320. I don't think Zev does anything with the trigger. I think everything else on the bottom end is stock. It comes with 2 magazines, and these mags do hold 15 rounds each, so it is essentially a similar size to a Glock 19. I just want to show you that real quick. I'll put them side by side here, and when I hold them up, you'll see that they are very similar in size. There are some differences between the Glock 19 and the Z320, but overall, when I picked up the Z320 for the first time, it was a very familiar shape and size, and there are some differences in the grip angle and things like that, but it felt right at home. It felt like a gun that I could shoot. So what we did with this pistol is actually over on the TA Targets YouTube channel, we did a box to bullseye, and in the box to bullseye videos, what we're doing is taking pistols for the first time, and rifles sometimes, directly out of the box. We run them completely stock, and it's sort of a one-take style video where we take you guys on the journey with us, kind of learning what we think about a pistol or a platform on that first range day. And inside of that video, I promised that I would do a more in-depth video of this Z320. So that's what the objective of this video is today. So now that we got a little bit of the background, a little bit of the specs out of the way, I want to talk a little bit about that initial box to bullseye video. And if you haven't seen that video, I don't want to send you guys away from this one, but I do encourage you to check out that video over on the TA Targets YouTube channel. And we're going to put a card right up here over top of my head that's going to direct you right to that video. I definitely encourage you to check that out, especially if you are considering the P320X compact. Doesn't matter if you're getting it from Zev or Sig. I think that that video is worth your watch. So in that video, I pulled this thing out of the box with no prior dry fire, nothing else, and I ran it on the range. I had a couple drills that just kind of worked some fundamentals and dove into what I think about this pistol. And a couple key notable things that I noticed about it right away. During that video, I didn't have a dot on top of it. I added this after the fact because I wanted to run it stock. With the factory sights from Zev, this thing hits low. And I know a lot of you right away are gonna have some hate and say that, oh, it's user error, you're pulling low left. It wasn't low left, it's directly low. And my experience with many SIGs and other pistols that are platformed around the same style of SIG is the fact that if you shoot them like you shoot a Glock, where with my Glock, I can take the front sight and the rear sight, line them up together, put that in the center of a bullseye, and I will hit exactly where I'm aiming. If you do that with the P320 or the Z320, at least in the sight configuration that I have, you're going to hit low. And that's not necessarily a problem. That's not really me knocking the pistol, but I noticed on that RangeDay that if I shot this just like my Glock 19, I had some problems with that, and it kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. It's not like I was missing by feet, but the reality is as I got out to different distances, it became more and more of a problem. So in that video, I talk about that, and really that was the number one negative that I had against this pistol. As far as how it feels in my hand, it's a really nice pistol. And one of the things that I was super excited about, and I talk about a lot in that box to bullseye video, is the fact that it has this nice beaver tail here. And the reason I like that is because my thumb gets destroyed from my Glock 19. And I'll try to demonstrate that for you guys, but because of how big my thumb is, anytime that I grip the pistol properly or I have a really aggressive grip, the slide will actually chew up my thumb while I'm articulating the slide when I'm during recoil. And I have a pretty big callus on my thumb. Sometimes during courses or if I'm out shooting for an entire day, it'll actually make my thumb bleed. So in that video, I talked a lot about that beaver tail and how awesome it was that it's physically impossible for the slide to chew up my thumb. So that was a breath of fresh air. Another thing that I noticed right away was that the Z320 has more of a vertical grip, whereas a Glock 19 has more of a canted grip. And so drawing this from the holster was a little bit strange for me versus the Glock 19. And I still to this day do have some stumbling blocks to get over when it comes to drawing it out of the pistol, but I have gotten a lot better with it as I've been using it over the last 4 months. Other than that, I think the trigger's phenomenal out of the box. I talked about that in the box to bullseye video. And overall, it's just a very refined pistol. It's very pleasant to shoot. So since that video, I've added a couple things to this. I switched up my holster that I'm using, and now I'm rocking the Sidecar 2.0 from T-Rex Arms. And I do conceal carry this pistol quite often. Now, up to this point, I have not added a flashlight or anything to the bottom of the pistol, but I did add a Holosun HE508T. And guys, I can tell you that putting the dot on this pistol radically refined how this thing shoots. And I know that a lot of that is based on training and your background, your fundamentals. But at the end of the day, this completely eliminated my issues that I was having with the point of aim, point of impact, because I know where I zero this dot at. And currently I have this zeroed at 10 yards. So I know that at 10 yards, if I put the dot on the target, I'm going to hit. No questions asked. This thing is just going to drive the bullets exactly where I want them. So as far as upgrades, really guys, that's it. But I can tell you that answering that question, does this make me reconsider my Glock? The reality is, after that first box to bullseye video, the answer to that would be no. And I said that in the video. There's no way in a stock form that a Z320 or P320 would make me consider getting rid of my Glock. But I will say that if I have the option to shoot this over my Glock 19, especially while I have the red dot on this, this is the pistol that I reach for almost exclusively. And as you can see from the videos we're playing and the other drills that we've run and the other content that we have on our Instagram pages, this pistol just runs so amazing. So when I compare it to a Glock 19, the vertical grip for me, it's kind of a wash. I don't really feel like I need that vertical grip. I know a lot of people really like that, but the trigger on it, I will say, is a very nice trigger. And I just want to show you guys real quick. Right there's the brake. There's the wall, so that's the wall. and there's the reset. As far as how that compares to a Glock, I would say that this is a cleaner trigger. It's still not super light. As far as maintaining this pistol, how you work with it, how it comes apart, it's very similar to a Glock 19. I will say that Glocks are much less complex inside the slide and inside the lower receiver, but up to this point, this has been an extremely reliable pistol, and I have no indications that the design of it is going to cause any problems for me or any premature issues at all. One thing that I will note as far as a con about this pistol is it only comes with 2 magazines. So if you're used to purchasing a Glock, most of the Glock models are going to come with 3 mags, and they're gonna be 15 round polymer mags. And getting Glock magazines is very easy. You can buy them from Magpul. ETS has magazines, or you can buy factory Glock mags, and they're plentiful and they're very inexpensive. When you start getting into SIG pattern pistols that use these stamped style metal mags, they're more expensive. And the fact that you spend so much money on a pistol like this up front and you get 2 magazines is kind of a bummer for me. But I also understand that that's sort of like the industry norm, and some Glock models even only come with 2 magazines. So talking a little bit more about the pros and cons about this pistol, the pros are this is an extremely smooth, flat shooting pistol, very easy to manage the recoil. We're never gonna control recoil because the nature of it is it's a force that's going to be moving, but with proper fundamentals, you're gonna be able to manage it really well. And because of the grip, the beaver tail, and the way my hands interlock and the size of it and just all of the refinements to this pistol, I'm able to totally control and manage that recoil in a way that allows me to get shots very quickly on target. This red dot with the wide window is very easy to get that dot where I need it to be. So as far as how I think about this thing, it's an awesome, smooth shooting pistol. And the pros are very long when I'm looking at that list. As far as the cons, this pistol is very expensive. So you can buy a stock P320 or you can get this decked out version from Zev. You're gonna pay a premium for the features that Zev is offering here, the Cerakote, the serrations. And the serrations, they're not 100% necessary. At the end of the day, they're nice if you're wearing gloves. You can rack the slide over the top. You'll have more texture to grab onto when you're doing slide manipulations, but it's not something that you need. Another negative that I'll say about this particular pistol is Zev ships it with low steel iron sights. And being that it is a pistol that's already ready for a red dot, my assumption when I was told that I was going to get this particular pistol and I picked this one out is that it would come with taller rear and front steel sights so that I could use them aiming through the red dot. Currently, they're actually lower than the dot, so when you have the HE508T on top of this, it's just the dot. That's all you've got. And I'm not necessarily against that per se, but for the money that you're spending on a Zev pistol, I just expected that they would come with the taller sights. Other than that, it's really just the price for the con. You've got to decide for yourself, is putting a premium dollar amount into one like this worth it, or do you buy a stock P320 and then send it out and get it milled for an optic? And at this point, I don't know a ton about SIG's lineup, and it is possible that they have P320 models ready to accept dots already. So you just have to ask yourself, is the premium worth it? Because at the end of the day, the goods that Zev is creating are up top here on this particular pistol. So over the last 4 months, I've really become well accustomed to this pistol. I really enjoy it. I love it. As far as changes that are coming to it, really all I'm going to do is add a flashlight, and there's a couple specific reasons why I want to do that. The main being that when you add a flashlight to a pistol like this appendix, it actually helps conceal it a little bit better in my experience. I like that when you have that extra bulk down here on the appendix rig, it kind of tilts that gun back into you a little bit. And it's subtle, but it does matter. This Z320 prints more than my Glock 19. And largely that's because of, one, the beaver tail and the grip angle, but two, because this particular pistol does not have a flashlight at this point. Because we're getting into fall and we're starting to have nights that start sooner, I definitely want that flashlight on this pistol before I start carrying it all the time. Other than that, guys, it's a smooth shooting pistol. I've been very happy with it up to this point. Do I recommend it for you? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know that I can answer that question for you. My only objective with this video is to elaborate a little bit further on the box to bullseye video. And I'm not here trying to sell this pistol to you because I don't really care what pistol you run. What I care most about is that people are taking whatever they have, getting out on the range and getting trained. And that's what this page and that's what my company TA Targets is all about. So take the information from this video, put it to good use. Hopefully it helps you make some decisions. And if you're not into the Sig lineup and you don't want to go buy a Z320, or you don't think that the extra money for the Zev is worth it, then by all means, don't go and buy it. I'm not trying to push anybody any direction. Guys, I hope that this video was helpful for you. If it was, leave me a comment down below in the comment section. Please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that. And please take a second to go back, check out that initial box of Bullseye video, because it's a one take running real drills live for you on the range. It is about a 30-minute video, I believe, off the top of my head, but it is totally worth it if this is a pistol that you are considering. If this video solidified your decision to not purchase it, cool. If it helped you out with deciding to purchase it, awesome. I'm glad I could help you guys out in some small way. Don't forget, how you can support me is checking out tatargets.com. Use that code Keystone Carry on some steel targets. Get out, get trained. Guys, stay well, stay safe. See you in the next one.